Today on PCZ TV, we'll cover the history of Taco Bell and its South Bay connections.
PCZ TV.
Previously on PCZ TV, I covered the extensive Southern California history of fast food in this video, so feel free to go back and watch it. Meanwhile, the Cliff Note version, it's 1921, and the origins of current fast food is White Castle. They had a limited menu, high volume, low cost, high speed hamburger restaurant. And that's the way things sort of stayed until World War II ended. But it was really the post-war era in Southern California that spurred on what we now know today as fast food or a quick service restaurant. In 1948, brothers Richard and Maurice McDonald leveraged Henry Ford's efficient assembly line concept to make hamburgers and French fries and named it Speedy Service System and incorporated it in their restaurants that they called McDonald's. This allowed them greater efficiencies, lowered their costs, and decreased service time. And also in 1948, the drive-thru was implemented by In-N-Out, and this became the perfect partner to fast food. Well, meanwhile, the new highway system was built in the 1950s and 60s, and America started driving more than ever before. And fast food was a natural business response to the American on-the-go lifestyle. Okay, so now we're caught up. So let's dive in to Taco Bell. It's 1948. Glenn Bell had just gotten out of the Marines, where he was a cook, and started his burger restaurant called Bell's Burgers in San Bernardino, California. Now there was just one catch. He had located himself just down the street from a novel new restaurant which had opened and sort of cornered the market on burgers called McDonald's.
You chose poorly.
So his business was slow, and he had plenty of time to watch the long lines of customers at a Mexican restaurant located across the street called the Mitla Cafe. Now, the Mitla Cafe was started in 1937 by Salvador and Lucia Rodriguez, immigrants from Jalisco, Mexico, where they cooked up hard-shell tacos and were selling them to the local Mexican-American community. Now, Lucia deviated from the traditional fillings and instead used whatever ingredients were available in America, in this case, ground beef, cheddar cheese, tomatoes, and iceberg lettuce. I guess this was a true fusion of food before such a thing was trendy. And that's when Bell had a brainstorm. Well, if you can't beat him, join him. His thought was maybe he could capture the imagination of Americans with tacos, the way the McDonald's brothers had done with burgers. So he walked across the street, literally, and the Rodriguezes taught him how to cook tacos. Bell then took his newfound taco knowledge and added the tacos to the menu in his hamburger spot. Now, one might think this was a bit disingenuous, but his clientele were predominantly white, while Milta served the Mexican-American community. And to be fair, he changed the recipe to make it more accessible to the gringos. Well, here's the fun connections. In 1954, Ed Hackbarth, an Air Force veteran, got a job managing Bell's Burgers. And by 1961, Hackbarth was out on his own, founding Del Taco in the small desert town of Yermo. Oh, sorry, I kind of got on a tangent. Well, eventually Bell closed his hamburger stand and opened a new quick service restaurant in San Bernardino that focused on tacos. This was, of course, Taco Tia. Wait, what? Well, Taco Tia is widely considered to be the first fast food restaurant that focused on tacos and Mexican food. And Bell was ambitious. He saw what Ray Kroc was doing with the McDonald's franchise via expansion. and he wanted to do the same, but his Taco Tia partners refused to expand. So in 1956, he sold his shares and started another quick service taco restaurant called El Taco. Wait, what? Not Taco Bell? Well, no, not yet. Now, a non-compete clause prevented him from opening in San Bernardino. So he went down to the South Bay and opened his El Taco in Long Beach. Finally the South Bay. Now, Bell sold the El Taco chain in 1962. And actually, it's been privately owned by the Downey-based El Taco California for the past 60 years. Downey. We'll come back to that in a minute. And on a quick sidebar, one of the managers of Taco Tia was none other than John Gallardi, who started the Wiener Schnitzel in Wilmington. See more about it here in this video, and how Glenn Bell was instrumental in the establishment of that fast food franchise. Now, speaking of Downey, now we get to Taco Bell. In 1962, Bell purchased a plot of land on Firestone Boulevard in Downey and created a courtyard of open-air shops that are referred to as Plaza Guadalajara. So on his third attempt at a quick-service taco stand, he opened the first Taco Bell. And reportedly, Bell chose the name Taco Bell because his surname was often the butt of jokes in childhood, and he wanted to give it a positive ring. Now, there were 5 original items on the Taco Bell menu: tostadas, burritos, tacos, frijoles, and hamburgers, which were made with taco meat. Note also how the menus had to assist with pronunciation, because Mexican food was not yet as common as it is today. And I suppose you could really say that these Mexican-inspired dishes were optimized for the 1960s gringo palate. So on a quick sidebar, for some more history of Mexican food in Southern California, watch this video.
And we're back!
Now, back to Bell. The building itself was small and was designed by Robert McKay, a Palos Verdes architect. The original location was just 400 square feet, around the size of a 2-car garage, and was built with mission-style arches that covered a small walk-up window that served the original menu. Now, McKay tapped into the early California missions for his themes. These missions were churches where bells would be rung to announce the daily prayer time. Taco Bell, church bell, hey, I get it. Now, fun fact, Bob McKay also designed the iconic Wiener Schnitzel A-frame buildings, and would later be hired by Bell to be president and later CEO of Taco Bell. Now, Taco Bell was an immediate hit, so Bell started opening several more locations. In 1964, the first franchise was purchased by former police officer Kermit Beck. This first of what would be many franchises was located in the South Bay in Torrance and had its grand opening on May 28, 1965. Well, successes continuing over the years, Taco Bell's logo and branding went through multiple iterations, and they moved away from the mission-style restaurant design of Bob McKay, with the first big change coming in 1972. Now, as mentioned, original Taco Bells only featured a walk-up window without indoor seating or drive-through service. Then they had another rebranding in 1985, and entering the quote-unquote modern age with the new logo in 1992, which quickly led to 1994's update. I always wonder, did they get into CMO? Why the expense of a change so quickly? But anyway, they launched the current design in 2016. Now, they may have updated the brand and moved away from the original restaurants, but many former original Taco Bell buildings and locations still survive to this day. Usually they've been repurposed as other restaurants, with ironically many being Mexican restaurants. Of the original Taco Bells, still branded as Taco Bells, only 9 locations remain, all of which are in California, Arizona, Colorado, or Hawaii, although they are highly modified from their original condition. Some notable Taco Bell advertising. Well, here's Creedence Clearwater Revival eating a Taco Bell in 1968. In 1992, Johnny Cash starred in the television commercial for Taco Bell's value menu.
Well, nobody has more choices for just a little cash. You can search the whole world over, and no matter who you ask, they'd say Taco Bell has more choices for just a little cash. You better make a run for the border, son. You better make a border dash. We're talking under $1. Nobody beats Taco Bell. Where else you gonna get so many choices with just a little cash?
Oh, this was filmed at Vasquez Rocks. And to see the site of the famous Star Trek episode featuring the Gorn at Vasquez, watch this video.
And now for something completely different.
And who could forget Billy Idol's biggest hit?
At the Taco Bell, she cried more. At the Taco Bell, more.
Hey, now. Don't be mean.
Now, in 1993, Taco Bell was part of product placement for the movie Demolition Man.
But you do not realize that Taco Bell was the only restaurant to survive the franchise wars. So? Now all restaurants are Taco Bell.
No way.
In 1997, they used a small Chihuahua dog as a spokesperson. And of course, the dog was made to speak through the miracle of special effects. Her advertising catchphrase was translated roughly to, "I want Taco Bell."
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Some nice ad work there. Did I miss any of the ads that you love? If so, put them in the comments below. And now for some more South Bay connections. The corporate office of Taco Bell has had a few locations in which the South Bay dominates. The first at 2516 Via Tejon in Palos Verdes. And look, I gotta guess that Glenn Bell lived in Palos Verdes, but I can't find any record saying yes or no. But one does not simply put a headquarters here if you don't live here. Anyway, the HQ then moved down the road to 2424 Morton Street in Torrance, which is now the location, ironically, of a church, but alas, no church bells or Taco Bells to be seen. And finally, the headquarters moved to Irvine in 1976. In 1978, PepsiCo purchased Taco Bell and later spun off its restaurant divisions into what is now Yum Brands. Yum Brands operates KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and The Habit. Milta's Cafe is still there and still owned by the same family. Ironically, the location of Glenn Bell's hamburger stand is now a taco stand. Taco Tia has one remaining location in the Redlands, and only 4 locations of Glenn Bell's second taco chain, El Taco, remain. One in Downey, one in Orange, Anaheim, and the closest in San Pedro. Now, the first Taco Bell restaurant location closed in 1986, but the building was saved from demolition and was moved 45 miles to the current Taco Bell corporate office in Irvine, California. That is some takeout order. And it's currently stored in the corporate parking lot. Now, allegedly known as Taco Bell Numero Uno, which is weird given that Yum Brands owns Pizza Hut and not Numero Uno Pizza. But the original Taco Bell is now wrapped in a blue tarp that's actually visible from space from Google Maps. Now, approximately 94% of Taco Bells are owned and operated by independent franchisees. And the location of the first franchisee in Torrance is now a tamale. Now, Glenn Bell passed away in 2010, but he left a legacy. If you think about it, he was instrumental not only in starting Taco Bell and Wiener Schnitzel and Del Taco, three of the major fast food giants today, but he also helped popularize Mexican food or Mexican-like food for the masses. As of 2023, Wikipedia indicates that Taco Bell serves over 2 billion customers each year. Is that right? 2 billion? That's a lot of tacos, man. The final footnote, ironically, it was Taco Bell that I missed the most when I lived in Europe. Go figure. Of course, now that I'm back, I rarely go. Don't ask me to explain this. I don't know. I hope you've enjoyed this bit of South Bay history. Thanks so much for watching.
Bye!